is all right today. I am Jamarl Thomas. I am your host. This is Progressive Soapbox. What you're seeing in the background is Julian Assange being evicted from the Ecuadorian embassy. This ended, or let's say the beginning of the ending, 7 years of him being essentially held up in an embassy, scared that he is going to be extradited to the United States for what amounts to journalistic enterprise. Julian Assange ended up being absolutely right on that. There was a secret warrant hiding in the United States. He was, upon being evicted from the embassy, that warrant was made absolutely available, and he has been taken to Belmarsh Prison, where he is now. Yesterday, Julian Assange was sentenced to 50 weeks in prison for quote-unquote skipping bail. Mind you, the skipping of the bail, or what they're calling skipping of the bail, is him going into an embassy to prevent going to the United States and being tortured. So let's just be very clear. This is not him skipping bail and being on the lam, him skipping bail and in Aruba. This is not him on a jet ski in Dubai while skipping them. No, he went into the embassy. He was very open to dealing with the charges that people were placing against him, but it seemed to be politically motivated. In this case, yesterday, Julian Assange was given 50 weeks for quote-unquote skipping bail. Today, Julian Assange was in a hearing on whether or not he was going to be extradited to the United States. This hearing, for the most part, is just beginning. When asked about whether or not he would allow himself or surrender himself to extradition, Julian Assange said, quote, I want to get the quote right, "I do not wish to surrender myself for extradition for doing journalism that was won many awards and protected many people." Defiant. This, they're expecting to go months. In reality, this may go for more than a year. And if we're being honest, with Brexit and everything taking place, it is unclear the political situation in the UK. And I would make the point that the political situation may bear weight on this issue. If the government collapses and there is a government Jeremy Corbyn, does Jeremy Corbyn allow the extradition of Julian Assange to take place? Likely not. If there is a President Bernie Corbyn in office, by the time this kind of mellows out, does a Bernie Sanders go for the extradition of Julian Assange? If that makes sense. I'm saying the political situation in the United States and the UK is in flux. There's a hegemonic change of things in regards to the Democratic Party, or at the very least is up for grabs. The UK, the same. It is one thing for a conservative government to be on board with this. It is another thing for a Labour government, essentially a Labour government pushed by Corbyn. It is unclear on where Corbyn stands on this issue. So all of this, I would argue, is in flux. Yes, there's going to be a fight that takes place on whether or not Assange is going to be extradited to the United States. And so this really has only just begun. And the extradition hearing really boiled down to, will you surrender? And Julian Assange defiantly saying no, as he should. So I'm going to end this. This was just kind of an update. I am putting Elizabeth Voss's article at the bottom of this. Voss has been Johnny on the spot on this very specific issue, and she's covered the Julian Assange issue and been more passionate about it, probably more so than anybody else. I've requested an interview from her, and so we'll see what she says. Hopefully she'll come on to the show. On the second point, and I was sitting here earlier today, looking at my cell phone, giggling like a schoolgirl, unapologetically so. I sent Galloway a message. And Galloway responded immediately. He was like, "What do you need, brother? What's happening, brother?" And my wife comes in and she's like, "What happened?" I said, "You're never going to believe who's texting me." I was like, "Galloway is texting me." She was like, "What are you going to do?" I was like, I can't say anything to Galloway. It's Galloway. But no, Galloway is going to be on the show tonight, ideally. I've had people like Aaron Matei ghost me, so I'm not necessarily going to put it too hard, but I don't think Galloway is the same type of person to do that. So, ideally, Galloway will be on the show tonight at 7 p.m. London time. That's 2 p.m. our time. It's going to be on Skype, so I don't necessarily know if I'm going to push that up immediately, meaning if I can run it live. My other live videos that I've tried to run on Skype were messed up. I don't think the processing power handles Skype and OBS running at the exact same time. So I may have to just record the video that we're having and then upload it. Either way, I've been in communications with Galloway. He said he's all in. I've texted him on the phone. I've talked to him, back and forth all this. And he says 7 p.m. is perfectly okay. He's apparently doing something with LRT right now, but he'll be ready at 7. So this is me, eager, grinning like a schoolgirl. I sent, I don't like calling people Mr. I sent him, I was like, hey, Mr. Galloway, what's going on, man? So that should be awesome. Bernie Corbyn in office. It may be a Freudian slip. The two Galloway, Jamarl that's bigger than the Venezuelan coup. I know, right? They tried. They definitely tried. And by the way, they're not going to stop trying. And they're going to get more desperate as this goes on. Meaning the further or longer this goes on, they're going to get more and more desperate. Financial markets. One of my subscribers sent me an article in the financial newspapers where these guys were talking openly about Maduro is entrenched and there's no money to be made in Venezuela until Maduro's up. Meaning for them, it's a financial opportunity. For the people of Venezuela, it's their lives. Think about how sick that is. Think about how sick that is. But I'm going to end this here because I need to test my Skype, make sure my Skype works. I'm only going to try to keep him for 15 minutes. Of course, he's welcome on the show anytime he wants and as long as he wants. But you talking about static? You talking about the static on cloud fucking 9. So I'm going to end this here. But I just wanted to give a heads up on what was taking place regarding Assange. I have a series of shows today, but I do need to make sure my Skype is working the way it's supposed to. So I'll see you guys in a few. If you guys enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. You can always support the PayPal or Patreon. And honestly, the support does help. YouTube has been demonetizing these shows left and right. And if it's even partially on the edges. I mean, some of the stuff is not even on the edges. I did an article on Sanders that they monetize. So, or, even $1 helps. Or like, or share. All of that stuff helps. So, I'll end it here. Thanks all. And I'll see you this evening. Galloway should be on at 2 p.m. if the system works. Worst come to worst, he'll call in. I'm not going to say 2 p.m. It's very least the interview is supposed to take place at 2 p.m. I'll upload it as soon as I possibly can. I'll leave it here. Thanks all.